Lol. Lol. Estos son mapas, tío. Total loca. I don't even remember what I was doing here. So this used to work fine, right? I remember. What's up, Simone? Man, that's the worst thing. I need to remember what I where I left it last time. What a baby. Okay, so I had this and I was able to download and it started downloading, okay. So I guess I'm gonna leave the process finish and see what happens. Takes a while because the assets are quite big. Well, to be honest, I'm starting to remember. Yeah, so I was downloading the assets, but I was not doing anything with them. So in case you're wondering what is this, it's basically I pasted the GitHub repo on the chat. And this is a UI application that it's using the library from this code. So this is basically a Swift package. And as a Swift package, it has two things. One is the binary interface, so the command line that you can just use directly. And it basically downloads all the assets from Legends of Runeterra, and you can have them as wallpapers, see? Which is pretty cool. So then the other thing that is exposed is the core library, basically, the downloader, which takes care of hitting the the URLs, downloading all the assets, extracting the wallpapers, because on the card art, basically if you get art from the cards that are spells, for example, the art is small and it's squared, so it doesn't make much sense to use that as a wallpaper, but instead of everything else does. So basically the extractor takes care of that. And what you're seeing here next code, it's basically a UI application written on top of that. And now I need to basically figure out how to extract this somewhere. So I'm already seeing an error here. The download couldn't be moved because either the format doesn't exist or the folder containing the later doesn't exist, which both things seem weird. Both things seem kinda weird to me. I'm checking I'm not doing anything wrong. This should be fine. Let me make a folder on the downloads. But the format must exist because it's where the NS0 session downloads everything. So that's kinda pretty sure this is more related to not being able to write, outside your sandbox or some stuff like that. Typo, I mean, it's me. Could be a typo, definitely, but I don't think so. Let me see. Oh, you're right. Dang. Yep. It must be that then. Okay, so assuming that part works, I think the raising tides is quite smaller than the rest. So assuming this will work, it means that on this folder we're gonna see the zip file downloaded. So now we need to do something with that. Okay. Which, I mean, Okay, that's another error. No? Yeah, you don't have permission to access. Yeah, that's the other thing about... You need to request permission on macOS now to do everything. And I don't even know how to do that. So maybe we need to take a look at that first. Because the other thing you need to do here is basically... I already have this code. Asset extractor. Dude, this auto completion is cut up. The extractor takes care of everything, so that's what you need to pass the zip URL here, which is the URL that you get from the download. So to be honest, this is 90% the same as the what is it? So I'm downloading the code and then extract. So you see the URLs are here, and it's basically this. So that part is easy because I already have the same thing on the command line tool. It's literally the same, overall is the same code, but there are differences. So this, the extractor will extract it. And the nice thing is that here we can hook into the state that I have here, which is the thing that updates the UI. So I guess once these progress bars all finish, I guess I can just put an, I don't know, I'm thinking of putting a, I don't know, some activity indicators saying that it's being unzipped or something like that. But yeah. So I don't mind this. This is fine. Yeah, the restrictions thing. I'm trying to remember if I've ever done it already. Because I guess I need to put some button here that you can pick, that you can open the file picker or some stuff like that. But to be honest, I have no clue. I have no clue. Let's see if somebody says it clear. Swift UI, how we can code this? Mac file picker, some stuff like that. Directory for user selected folder. That's kind of what I want. Then open the selected using the MS Open panel. File dialogues. I'm assuming it's a file dialog what I need. So I'm not 100% sure. AppKit provides DNS open panel, yep. But is this what I want? Because I don't really have anything to save, do I? Like, I just want to get to this point. Start folder, bookmark. Open folder selection. I mean, can we just take this boy? The thing I never understood, because I've never spent time with it, is the thing with the bookmarks that I keep reading about. Dude, what is this syntax? My god. I hate myself just by copying this. I just want to see if it works, because I kind of have no clue what's happening. Open folder. Not sure what this does. This new sounds on what are we? Pixar, true. These new sounds are so weird. I'm not used to them. Okay, let's remove this. Somebody's asking about concurrency. Yeah, I have a video from a stream I did a while ago. Okay, you can do this. 1 second, I'm gonna answer in a bit. Let me put a baraka on it. Let's put the breakpoint there. Boop. Is it gonna print? LDV is so bad lately. I don't know what's happening, but yeah. See? No, print me the result. I don't know, print me the open panel then. Okay, open panel URL. Okay, there we go. That's cool. So the question is, do I have now access to this out of the box, or do I have to store anything? Interesting question. So let me answer this. What were you asking? Sorry. I thought you went through concurrency already. Anything new? No, not really. I mean, the conversations are still happening. There are a couple of designs of how to accomplish certain things, you know. But no, it's moving on. It's moving on. I mean, like, to be honest, I haven't been catching up lately a lot. Like, probably if I had some time. Things that this year it's been quite shitty. So recently I don't have much time. But we should go through this at some point. But basically, people, like, it's this conversation happening, development is happening. There are different pitches going on, which makes it a little confusing to follow. But I think it's very positive, because from the initial thing they said, it's not that they are going super far away from the original ideas, but they are taking some feedback, very valuable feedback, and there are kind of like slightly, not super different, but slightly different designs going on. So that's super exciting. I don't know where are we gonna have it, but it's happening, it's happening. Oh, the title of the stream. Ah, because you're on... Yes, give me a second. That's because you are on YouTube? And I forgot to update the YouTube, because I'm using Restream. Update titles. Yeah, no, I'm working on something else today. Let me do this. Plop. Update all. There you go. Should have changed. Now I'm working on something else today. I'm building kind of like a UI application on top of this command line tool. You know. But yeah, don't worry. Don't worry, it's fine. My mistake. But yeah, exciting times. Like I cannot wait for this year to finish, first of all. But then I cannot wait to have the new version of Swift, like probably Swift 6. It's gonna be... I'm not sure they're gonna have everything, of course not, but at least I hope the phase 1 is there. I hope the phase 1 is there. Okay, so back to this. So the user has selected what it wants to put. Yeah, to be honest, I was thinking of putting another button, but I think it's fine. I think it's fine putting... You click the download button, it opens up. Again, this is not like a super pro fancy application, you know. This is literally just a small utility I built for myself. And I wanted to play with SwiftUI a little bit more, so there we go. I don't think I'm gonna save the bookmark. Well, this bookmark stuff isn't... It's because this guy wants to save bookmarks. Because I was not talking about that. Anyway, let's give this a try then. So what do I have to change for this to work? So I have the URL here. Is this a synchronous request? The block to call after the close the panel. The block has no return value and takes the sync. I mean, it feels weird. It feels weird. Because how the hell are you returning immediately the URL if the user hasn't selected it yet? Yeah, so at this point, yeah, the URL is nil, so this return is useless. And then the user selects this, boom. And now here it has it. I don't know, that happens. That happens when you copy paste. That happens when you copy paste. See, if we had the asynchronous already, we could do this with an async function. But we are not there yet. Okie dokie. I think I need to close this. Okay, now let's read a little carefully what this code is doing, because I just copy pasted it and I had no clue. Oh yeah, thank you for going on Twitch and following. Yeah, I'm using Restream sometimes and I just send everything to YouTube, but I don't stream on YouTube. I try to avoid it. Allow multiple selection false. Can choose directories? True. Can create directories. Fine, yeah, why not? Can choose files, false. Okay, okay. Is there anything else that I should be configuring? Can resolve ubiquitive. What can download? Is accessory closed? I mean, who cares? Let the user use whatever they want. Okay. So now we need to change this a little bit because you pick the destination directory and here we got the URL. Let me open this so at least I make sure I don't put anything behind my face. So yeah, then this buyer needs to become kind of an implicit unwrap thingy because it needs to be kept in memory. But I don't want. But I need to create it all the time. I could change the interface of the downloader, but I can do that later if I'm too bothered. Yeah, in Spain, the virus hit quite hard. I mean, the US, yeah. If you think about it, it's like when you are, like, I lived in London for a while, you know? And people say, oh, like, anything that you pick, any topic that you pick is like, yeah, in London, this, like, people in London are crazy because this. People in London are like whatever because of that. And it's not true, it's just question of size. It's question of statistics, you know? There are more people, you're gonna find more of everything, doesn't matter what. So yeah, on the US it hit harder because it's bigger, it's way bigger country, more people. And yes. But yeah, in Spain, for the size of the country, it hit. And we're still kind of lockdown. It's not a lockdown, but there are restrictions, you know? There are restrictions. For example, now on the weekend we cannot leave our towns. So you can go out as long as you don't leave your town. You can do whatever you want, except at night because there is like a, I don't know how you call that in English, but it's like from at night you cannot be on the streets basically, like in the movies. But yeah, I don't know. To be honest, we're kind of doing normal life with these restrictions in place, but doing as much as we can. Ah, yeah, that's the word. A weird word. I never heard that word before, but yeah. Curfews, I don't know how to pronounce that. I've never heard it. But yeah, we have that, yeah. It depends. On the entirety of Spain, I think it's from 11. From 11 to 6 in the morning, I think it is. Here in Catalonia, it's from 10, I think. I mean, you can go out, you know? This is not America. You can go out. Nobody's gonna shoot you, you know? But you shouldn't. Like, if the police is there, it's gonna ask you, dude, go home, please, you know? It's more like so people doesn't go on parties and stuff like that. Yeah, man, your country, it's weird. I hope it's gets better soon. Oh yeah, of course I'm inside the closure now. I probably should move this to another method, but who am I to decide? And this enabled card is also a property. Okay, let's give it a try. Let's click download. Let's do just the rising tides again, because I think it's smaller. Okay, so I pick this, open, boom. Locking volume does not support data protection. Stripping. Okay, the internet is quick today. So you say you see Aurelion Soul here behind. The plan is that when they make an update with a new set, I would like to change the image here, and to be honest, the image here on the repo too. That's my plan. I will see how it goes, but I quite like the idea, and I probably should have used Aurelion Soul here because it's kind of like the face of the set, Call of the Mountain. But I like the University of Piltover too much, you know, so... Okay, so we're still not doing this properly, no? You don't have permission to access. Is it because I need to enable... Yeah, so... Runeterra, it's Legends of Runeterra, it's the name of the game. It's basically a card game. In my opinion, the best one out there. Never got hooked into Hearthstone, I didn't like it. I don't know, I played 5 minutes and got bored. This one I played 5 minutes and I've been playing since then. You know, so it's freaking awesome. And one of the reasons, I'm not gonna lie, one of the reasons is because I love the lore of League of Legends. Like, people think it's just like a, I don't know, a game, you know, where kids spend a lot of time playing, but there is nothing behind it. And like, actually, if you go to Universe League of Legends, you can see a huge amount of writing in terms of the lore. Like, each character has histories, I don't know, adventures. It's crazy, and you can see the entire world here with all the regions, which these are like the regions of the card game, which is like the colors on Magic the Gathering, basically. So you have the different regions, and each region, like, it's insane. I love it. I love it. And if you put a map in front of me, I even love it more. This is the first thing that basically made me love Runeterra as a world. You know, you come here and... freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. Okay? So yeah, then there is the card game, which basically... And they are expanding it constantly and adding more things and more cards from... Everything that happens in the game is kind of... it's part of the lore. So it's super cool for me that I like the lore. And then the art they have, it's amazing. So I'm using it as a background. And that's why I built this tool. The nice thing about the game is that you don't have the toxic community from League of Legends. So it's, you know, you have the champions, you have the lore, you have an amazing card game, none of the toxic community. So it's all positive. All positive. And they have it on iOS and Android, so you can play on mobile. Works pretty well. So do I need... user selected file written right. Okay, I guess it's this. So while these downloads, like one thing I love about the lore is how they have a world with such a variety of stories and characters and like magic and technology. I don't know. It's amazing. It's amazing. And yeah, lately I wanted to code some small thing. So, and I wanted the wallpapers, and I tried to do it manually, get all the wallpapers, but it's such a burden that I built a small utility for it. Okay, so we got here without errors. So in theory, I should get the yes, exactly. You can see I have the set here. So set 2 is Rising Tides, which got downloaded, and if I unzip this, you can see how we have here some JSON and stuff, but what matters is the art of the cards, which we have here. You can see. So this, for example, is the art of a spell, of a slow spell. So you can see the art is this circle, like it's not a full screen image. So that's what the tool does. The tool goes through all the art, ignores the one that it's not appropriate for a wallpaper, and then it takes the other. Like, look at this, freaking amazing. So this is the card, this is the art, and basically it discards the card and it uses the art for it. And there are so many. So you can see how going through these one by one, it was kind of painful. I did it for like 10 minutes. Then I saw that there were like 500 or 700 images to go through. This is like 300, but it's one set. And it's the set that, I think it's a set with less cards. So you can see how this doesn't scale if you do it manually. So yeah, like I don't know, the art is amazing. You can see the photo here. Where is the photo? Yeah, the coral creatures, misfortune. The art is so cool. So cool. Oh, that was misfortune, right? Love it. Love ya. It's super cool. So let me I missed close the folder. I didn't want to do that. So let me remove this. Okay. And now we need to go to the next step. Running the extractor. So for all the URLs, we're gonna extract this. Let's first try if this runs as it is. I think I have to put some default values, remove zip, yes. Destination URL, it's this one. Yeah, it's already there. I already have the folder downloaded. You see? Now I have this Guardian. I have them in, how can I, what is this? Let me see. Well, papers, it's called. I never know how to go to the settings panel. Also, Spotlight is awful in Big Sur. It doesn't find anything. Like not even the system preferences. Don't ask me why. Anyway, yeah, see, I have the two screens here, and I have them pointed into my Runeterra folder here, and they switch every 5 minutes because I love the art and I want to see it. So there is a lot of art, as you can see. Like the computer can keep up. You see, there is a lot of it, and all of it's good, which is why I like it even more, because everything is amazing, you know. It's not like you don't load a random set of images and some of them are awful or things that you don't like. No, like I like them all. So that's what's cool about it. That's yes. I mean, probably not for a 4K screen. I don't know what's the size, but it's good enough for my use case. You know, like you don't see, I mean, like you're looking through a streaming, but they look good. They look good here. Probably in the higher resolution screen, you can see some bad quality, but man. Okay, let me change the name of this. Keyboard. Let's be clear. So destination is. Yeah, I think this destination just needs to be the folder. Yeah, bro. If you got here, you can force unwrap this. I don't care right now. Don't kill me. Alfred, dude, I used Alfred many years ago, and I stopped using it because I just use it for things that Spotlight was decent enough, and I don't have to maintain another application, you know. But yeah, I don't know what's happening with Big Sur. I even paid for Alfred the power pack, they call it, and I didn't. I think I made one workflow for something. I think it was for cleaning to drive that data. That's the most useful thing. But dude, I haven't used it in ages. So yeah, developing this, need to wait for a little bit. Okay, extracting wallpapers, 1 of 1, and that should be done. There you go. Okay, perfecto. Perfecto, and you can see now how it's only the full screen art. None of the cards, none of the spells. Gangplank. Look at this. Pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, that's what happens. That when I see the art, I sometimes get distracted. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. When we started working together ages ago. We old, man. We old. So I guess I can now. Okay. Let me put a break point here, because I don't remember. Like, I don't know if this happens on the main thread or not. Because if it doesn't happen on the main thread, let's try this. Because I saw the UI kind of blocked for a bit, but I don't know if it's because. Yeah, I think it gets this runs on the main thread, or maybe not. No, it doesn't have to. Even if we're in a background thread, like this extraction is synchronous, so it won't say downloading false until it finishes, even if the UI. Yeah, we're in the main thread, but it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, see, it kind of matters. See, that was annoying. I was not able to switch into it because the main thread was locked. Yeah. You see why we need freaking asynchronous things in Swift? Because what do I do now? I need to put this on the background queue, but then this needs to jump again on the main queue. Come on, mate. Are we poor here writing like this? Come on. Are we poor or what? Okay, so this is gonna extract the zip and all that stuff on the background thread. So should let me move things, you know? Like the download happens on the background, you see? Beep. So that's responsive enough, okay. But now we need to check if the extraction also happens in the background. I mean, it's gonna happen on the background, you know, but I want to make sure. Yeah, see, now it's extracting. Yep, perfect. And now it's not load. Okay. Let me do one thing. This guy. I need to think. Let's say here, reset progress UI. That should reset. Can't find. Yes, alright. That should reset the progress bar. Let's download Call of the Mountain. Same place. There you go. So to be honest, the way I'm doing this, like you see, this code is similar to this code. I mean, this is the same, but like the repetition is literally nothing. Like you're just creating a class and calling a method. Like, but one could argue that since this is already a command line tool, I could make the UI run the tool, just the command line, called the binary. That would probably be easy, but it's less flexible. And to be honest, less fun too. Now we have, yeah, see these things from, you see these dragons, mate? Come on. Don't tell me not freaking cool. Look at this shit. Look. Cute, cute, cute. Amazing. Okay, getting distracted again. So yes, I could run the command line tool directly, but that's not fun because the work is already done, and also it's not interesting because then I cannot build stuff on the UI that is not exposed through the command line tool. But what's the point on that? I'll have a library that does most of the job, so I just need to kind of hook it into the UI. You see I have callbacks here from the library that give me the progress, which on the command line tool it looks like this. Okay, let me show you if I remember where is it. For example, let's do Swift run. You think I'm gonna forget this? So the command line tool is using what is it called now? The command. I don't know how it's called. The Swift command thingy. So let's just say that it's the same place. Okay. So you see, the progress is displayed like this on the command line tool, which, by the way, it took me a while. It took me a while. It's the first time, and it's something that I have wanted to do for a while, and surprisingly I've never done it before, which is build like a command line tool with a kind of like a UI that updates each line in progress instead of just going next. And it's bad. Honestly, it's very bad. The API to do this kind of stuff, it's so ugly. And I'm surprised that there is not really a good Swift library for it like this. You can find something on kind of like as plugins or utilities for server-side code, which you can use, but still, there is a lot of libraries for command line utilities on Swift, and I haven't found one that deals with kind of like UI in this sense, like I want it. And it's kind of bad. It's kind of sad. Somebody should build one. I could, but I don't know enough, so it's gonna take me. It will take me a lot of time, and I don't have of that. Okay. So right now the UI tool works. That's positive. Then what I want to, it's to expose these options, because on the command line you can see, if I run it like this on the usage, you can see that you pass the destination, which we have this when you click on download, it does the destination. So now I'm trying to mimic the behavior of both, but then you also can pass these two options, which they are not on a release version yet. They are on GitHub, but it's not on a release yet. The release of Call of the Mansion is 10 days ago, but I just pushed this before. And I'm probably gonna be waiting on making a new release until they make a new set, I guess. Like, I think this month, like probably next week, they need to do a patch with new cards, but I'm pretty sure they're on the same set. The next set comes next year, so I don't know. Like, that's gonna be a good proof. Like, I need to see if next week, when they make a release with new cards and stuff like that, if everything works as expected. That's gonna be interesting. I even made let me see, give me a second, because I want to show you this. Okay, so this is my folder from where it's not a test, that's the real folder where I have my wallpapers. So you can see this. So I even output from when you're using the command line tool, it outputs this file, and that's my way of thinking in advance. Because the plan is that next week, next week, couple of weeks, I know it's on December, they need to make a patch with more cards. Because the Call of the Mountain said, like, this expansion, everything is free, but they call it expansion sometimes. It was divided in 3 parts, so this is the third and last part. I want to see if everything works. It's gonna be a good proof to see if this library needs a lot of maintenance, or if the way it's built, it works, it doesn't change much, hopefully that's the case. And that's why I have this, so when they release it, I will just run this code, and it's basically override this and tell me, well, now at this date, with the 3 sets, you have, 600 images. Like, cool, I know it works, If something is wrong, we'll need to see, The important point is that it will need to be updated when a new set comes, because the sets are hard-coded right now. Are hard-coded here, see? I think there is one URL which is the core URL that gives you information about the keywords and like kind of meta information about the game, and I think that has the name of the sets, so we probably could just have that URL, hit that, and from that extract the sets. And in theory that will make it that I don't have to update it anymore. It will just work. But we'll see that. We'll see. Maybe I do that if I'm inspired when they make a new set. So for now, what I want to do is expose these 2 things, which is they are super useful. And as you can see here, I have the zips, They're like, I'm not sure how useful they are for users, But for me as a developer, it's super cool because I can download once, say keep zips, and then the next time I say, okay, skip the download, and it's gonna pick the zips from the same folder, so I can just iterate much faster, which, as you can see, it takes a while every time, It's not fast, which now is fine because I was building this UI and I was chatting with you guys, So that was fine, but when you are trying to focus and go fast, it's not that nice. So now I want some UI to put this. One thing I could do, keep the zips. So the keep zips could just be a toggle somewhere, that's fine. But then the skip download, maybe it should just be another button. You know, because from a user perspective, doesn't make much sense. Okay, let's do embed this in an H stack. Okay. Now let's try the first one. Let's see how this looks. It's kind of funny that some things don't get. I don't know why, but for the blur effect, it's not on the preview until you kind of run it or something like that. Like, you see when the preview is active it works, but when it's failed or something, it doesn't remember that it was blurred. It's weird. Very weird. You see how it removes the blur? I'm thinking if it's worth doing this. Because I want some I probably need some explanation. The computer is so low. So low, so low. Like, it's kind of annoying that it takes so much horizontal space. Although it doesn't look that bad here. Behaves so weird, the window. Anyway. Should I put something here? I don't know. Again, this doesn't have to be a super fancy UI or anything like that, you know? Maybe made it like this. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. I mean, this is fine. I want to think about the spacings. It's so annoying, the blur thing on the preview. How is it cool? And Xcode does not have spacing, yeah, spacing. I don't know, spacing of T. The Xcode doesn't help. Okay, so I like this spacing. Okay, that's cool. And I don't need this spacer here anymore. So what I want now, it's kind of... how can I do this? Let's see. If I put this here, it's gonna respect the spacing. I'm gonna say remove zip files. Okay, remove files after extraction. I don't know. I try to imagine how different UIs look like. Because I prefer this instead of this, but of course this doesn't fly. If I use spacer, it's gonna go to the right side. Wait, why there? Yeah. Back. I don't know. Or the internet or Twitch had some issues. You know what is super annoying? That this padding that you see here, half of the time, you see? See? Why is the padding not respected? Why you let me resize it in this direction? I don't know. I don't know how much I like it. Dude, let's implement this and let's try to implement. Let's try to do implementation before I fall asleep. Yeah. So I guess for download, it's again super similar to this. Let's do so first we need to pick the user, that's fine. Then we got the sets. Card sets. Take this. Take the selected user with the rev with the zip. And then we filter to see if they exist. And with this we have the URLs, so now we can do this. Okay. I could probably embed some of this stuff into the library itself. I could look for duplications at some other point. Okay, extract. We also want to extract what else here? I think that's it, no? This should work, right? This should work. Let's give it a try. I mean, let's see. I should probably go it from here. Extract. I'm still not doing anything with the remove zips, which I need to do first, because I'm not gonna have the zips. Okay. Let's think about the zip. For that, is this variable that we need? Okay. To be honest, we can use export it from here. That should be quite simple, right? Publish. Let's go remove zips. Remove zips will default to true. And then here we should do remove zips. Now we need to go to the toggle on the UI. Instead of a constant true, we say view model remove zips. Binding. How the heck you get a binding to this? No? Dude, I've been using the composable architecture so much that I don't know. That I don't know where. I forget how basic Swift UI works. For fuck's sake. Wait, I have something wrong somewhere. Below URL. Oh yeah, bro. We're getting there, we're getting there. Okay. Now we can focus again on this. Cannot convert bool to binding. That makes sense. But isn't it? I thought I published. How do you get a binding to this? Do you put it here? That doesn't make any sense. Ah, yeah, because you get to a binding of the view model key pathed into the remove zips. Okay. So now we can try two things. We can try let's get rid of all of this. Let's select rising tides only. Remove zips. No. Remove zips. And I'm thinking if I reverse the meaning of the boolean remove zips, no, it should be fine. Okay, so let's try remove zips. So do it here. Okay. Let's wait for a bit. Let's wait for a bit. Opa! So we should now see the zip downloaded. Then we should see a folder being extracted. Then the images appear, then the folder get removed, and the zip stay there. Okay. Bam, bam, and the zip will be there. Okay, cool. So now what we can do is we can get everything except the zip. Perfect. And now we can say extract. And you pick the folder. It extracts the zip and it does the same process. And because we have the remove still there, it keeps it. That's stupid perfecto. Perfect amazing. That's pretty cool. Okay. That's something I can be happy with. So then, what is missing here? I don't know why there is so much space here. Yeah, I don't know. There is one bit of functionality missing, which is the CSV that I was telling you about. Which right now it's part of the CLI. I'm starting to think that it should be part of the library. So that's something we probably can do. It failed because the file was already there. But that's something we can do. What I'm thinking though is that it would be nice if the UI showed the CSV. That would be kind of interesting. That would be kind of interesting, to be honest. If we, instead of just saving it, we can also see here the date. Like when you open the app, we could even ask for the folder when the app opens. In that way, we can detect if there is a CSV already and read it from there, I guess. That's not bad. That's not bad. But okay, let's take a look. I mean, let me commit it because that's good. Did I do any changes on the? Libraries don't have. So let me open up. Where is it? Upper. Which, by the way, if your projects, if you don't use them, don't put them in the developer folder. I recommend you to do that. It's quite cool. Like you can just go on your home folder, make a developer folder, and it automatically picks this icon, which is quite nice. I used to have it here in code and projects, but I'm trying to now move a lot of things into the developer folder because it's quite nice. Just a small thing. This is the app. See if I can work. Can you track? Really? Okay, so I gotta need to open developer app. This directory is not under Git source control. Okay, well now it is. Now it is. The asset is fine, the preview event is fine. All of this is fine. What I don't want to is the user data. Ignore of passing the user data. Wait, what? Ah, yeah, the pattern is this, and this is the information of my. Okay. Okay. Wait, didn't I just? X user data and X. Okay. Whatever. There are no tests, so nothing to worry about it. It's gonna happen like always, right? Like I'm gonna create a repo and then I will have to write the project. Download and extraction working. And then we have the master, which should be called main, but not yet. Okay, so now, so this is the log code, which I think it could just be moved. So that's something I need to do now. I need to switch to the command line tool and do a little movement of code, moving the log into the library, so then I can use it from here. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just I'm gonna add it to my to-do list, if you allow me. So so you see what I'm doing. So that's Todoist. That's kind of what I want to do. So show the CSV, but I need to save the CSV. Should be done by the lip. P1. Come on. That's done already. So move the CSV log into the library. Oh, come on. So that's what I need to do. And if I do this, which I mean, it's not very hard, but I of course need to do it with the brain a little brighter than right now. Could it be a long day? I haven't slept very well today. But the idea is that right now I have the CLI, which is basically the main code. As you can see after the download, it's running this code here to log. So it basically is getting the count of the images and then setting with the current date and the number of sets that we have. Which, funny enough, the CLI doesn't have a way to select the sets, it just selects them all. But instead on the UI app, I have the toggles for it. So yeah, kind of a little feature parity missing. Arguments to select the sets instead for calling all. Okay. So it's doing this, and then the count, the sets, and the date, and it's basically saving it into a CSV. As I said before, that's so when they make a new update with new cards, I can easily see the difference and make sure that it works basically. So the idea is quite simple. The idea is like move this here. And then I think I should be able to just move this here. Of course, in the proper type, I'm gonna make it, I don't know, like a static function in the log, probably makes sense, I guess. I need to decide if it should be part of the extractor or as a separate thing, so when we go here, after everything is done, it saves the CSV. I think that's wiser because then I can do a similar thing to read the CSV and basically decode it into an array of this struct, so I can show that on the UI. Why not? But yeah, that's where I'm gonna leave this stream for today. If anybody has any final questions, happy to answer them. And just in case somebody came out late, that's basically the repo for the... I pasted on the chat. If I was a pro streamer, I would just say, hey, mods, paste the URL on the chat. But yeah, so that's where you can get it in case you're interested on getting these amazing wallpapers, which is the art of Runeterra. You can just get it here on the release page. You have the zip with the binary already built. If not, you can just build it yourself. But this is something I use usually on all the binaries that I use. I basically have a GitHub action here that builds the release version of the CLI, which is quite useful because then when you are ready to make a release, I just need to go here, make a new release, tag it, all that stuff, and when you publish it, like a couple of minutes later, you have the binary there. Done. Quite useful. So that's kind of it. Let's see if next week we get something from Runeterra, and we can see if this actually works or not. You know, kind of useful. So just to recap what we have done today, let me close this, otherwise Xcode is gonna complain that the file is already opened. So what I've done is I've taken the CLI that I was showing you. The CLI is exposed, as you can see, this is a Swift package. The Swift package exposes an executable, which is the CLI that you can use, but it also exposes a library. And thanks to that, I can build... what happened? Well, yeah, now it's not gonna work, but very smart. But basically this allows me to make a UI application on top of it that uses the CLI library, not the CLI directly. That will be fine, but not that funny, you know? So it uses the CLI library to kind of re-implement the same functionality, but in a fancy UI with Swift UI. So that's what we have done today. Again, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the nice conversation, for the ones you were there. Hope everything it's good for everybody. Things get better soon. And that's it. Thank you very much, and see you next time.